Hello to the mighty Southland and welcome to February. Can you believe that January is done and we are into February? Hard to believe, but good things are happening. So let's jump on it. First of all, I want to recognize the new business teams that led last week. First of all, we had the Newport Beach team leading in new business, and Santa Monica came in a close second. West LA after that, and Mission Viejo was rounding out our top four. For total business last week, Anaheim led the way. It's hard to beat Anaheim because they do have some long-term CSPs, but they're not unbeatable. Certainly, people proved that last year many times. West LA came in the second place spot. Newport Beach, it was third, and Santa Monica rounded out the top four. What we're all about this year is breaking records. That's what we want to do. So let's talk about January. Those of you that have been with us know we've been tracking our January to try to break a couple of different records for January. Here's the main one. We wanted to have 44 orders a day, $13,000 a day, and the blue line, the one on the bottom, would be that exact number. The green line on top is what we actually did. So we did it. We not only did it, but we did it in style. We kind of smashed the record, and you can see the bottom graph, how it gets wider at the end. That's because the average order size that we projected was $300, was actually a lot higher than that most every single day. There was only a couple of days that it was a little bit below. So as long as we hit our order number, the sales numbers will always happen. So that's why I like to focus on number of orders more than I focus on anything else. Here's the number 11 through 20 leaders for last week, starting at the bottom. We've got Ryan with 4 orders on the board, Sterling with 4, Neelam with 8. Nice. Caitlin with 4, Gabby with 3, Chase with 3, Jordan with only 1, but 1,900. Hey, if you're only going to get 1 order for the week, doggone it, make it be 1,979 CPO. Jacob with 7 orders on the board, Luca with 4, and Ryan with 2. Once again, over $1,000 average order size there. Ryan, nice work as well. Then if you look at the top 10, starting at the bottom, Sarah with 6 orders for 2,800. Jaden, you see there with just 2 orders at 2,900. That's what happens when you are in training for management. You start learning advanced closing skills by teaching other people, and you can make a lot more money in a lot less time. Madison Britton here with 10 orders. I got to give a shout out. She was working hard to hit that Cabo qualification and was able to knock it out in the last day of the contest. So 10 orders for the week. Very, very nice work. Leah with 11 orders, of one of our perennial champions. Dalton Flores, new guy, right out of training, knocks out his first 2 orders for almost $4,500. So super strong. Nice work, Dalton. Nice work, Newport Beach team, for finding Dalton and training him up. Michael Master with 12 orders. Noah, Leah finishing up a fast start. 12 orders, 5,300 for the week. Very nice, very strong. Nate Ferrer, one of our CSPs, almost $6,000. Ben Cooper, CSP, going for yet another All-American scholarship with over $6,000, and then Connor led the way with 6,600. So strong week all around. So for the week, everybody, we had 297 orders for a little over 100,000 CPO for the week, 103,916 to be exact. And then our average order size was $349 for the week. Okay, so we got a new month. We're trying to break some records. So here is what our goal is for the first week of February. Now, you might remember we just said we did 297 for the last week of January, and that was a pretty good week. So now we're looking at 399. You might be thinking, man, that seems kind of challenging. And it is. And I'll tell you that in my own mind, it's kind of tough to wrap my brain around that, because it doesn't feel like we have the kind of momentum. But the most important thing I want you to learn from today's message is this: feelings seem important, but most of the time they are not as important as they seem. If you were there at the year-end banquet a few days ago, you heard me say that champions trust process, not feelings. And if I was trusting my feelings, which are deceiving, and anytime I hear somebody say, well, I don't feel like blah, 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 okay, or here's a famous one from a lot of new people, and every Vector rep has said this at one point in time when they were new: I don't feel like the job is for me, right? Some of our best representatives of all time, even in their training, before their training ended, said, I don't feel like the job is for me. Or they said it after 2 demos or after 5 demos, right? Many of our district managers had that conversation with their manager, but luckily their manager was able to encourage them and say, hey, look, you got to trust the process. You got to trust the program. You got to trust yourself. You can do this. And most of the time, what we just need is some encouragement, and we can accomplish things that we don't realize we can accomplish. And if we trust our feelings all the time, we're going to have some trouble. What we want to trust is process. We want to trust experience. And if we don't personally have the experience, then we've got to trust somebody that does have the experience. That's why our business works so well, is because every single manager in the business started out as a rep and worked their way up and learned how to make sales and made those phone calls and dealt with all those, some people giving lots of recommendations and some people giving fewer. we know how it works, but we also know that it's just a simple process, and it's always worth it. Not just because of the money and the awards and the trips and all the fun things, but it's worth it because of the learning. We learn some things about life. We learn some things about how the way the world works when we just trust processes. So anyway, sorry, I got excited there. 399 orders. So how do I overcome this feeling that that's a big number? So it's more than 100 orders more than we had last week, which was a good week. So one of the strategies to do that is to start kind of breaking it down into smaller pieces. And so that's what I did. I just looked at it like this and said, okay, well, we need 399 orders. If we close at about 60% of the demos that we do, we need 665 demos done. That means we need about 95 demos a day, right? Which still is a lot of demos. But when I break it down to all the different teams, we have 11 active teams right now. That's 8.6 demos a day. Round it to 9. That's 9 demos a day, right? So sometimes reps, I know when I was a rep, I felt this sometimes. I don't know if what I do really matters, because my manager was talking about the big goals for the team and everything. And that was great. And I wanted the team to win, but I wasn't sure that I mattered. But when it was broken down to me like this, wow, if I just do a demo, that's going to matter, because help my team get to my 9, right? And here's another thing that really important to note. If I do 2 demos, and let's say I have 2 no sales, this breakdown is not dependent on if I sell or not, right? Now we need sales, right? And we're going to have sales. But if I have 2 no sales, that still counts toward the 9 demos that were done. And I know it doesn't always make sense, and it may seem counterintuitive, but those demos matter, because we have to have a certain number of no sales. And just because that one day I had the 2 and somebody else didn't, and then the next day maybe I'll have 2 sales and somebody else will have the 2 no sales, you just don't know. But the demos matter, and that's the really important. And every single demo matters, and your demo matters, that you are thinking about scheduling that one extra phone call at the end of a phone jam to call that one person back that didn't answer the first 19 times that we called them, and all of a sudden they answer. And how many times have we heard that story? I've been calling this person for 3 months. Michael Lemaster told me he'd been calling someone for like 27 months, once a month, 27 months. So it was a real estate agent lead that he had gotten, and ended up having like a $3,000 order when they finally answered. And they weren't negative. They weren't like, oh, you've been bothering me. They just answered, hey, yeah, I've been hoping we'd be able to connect eventually. Yeah, and you're like, what? You seem like you were trying to avoid my calls, but they're not trying to avoid calls. They're just just people, and that's what they do. So we should never assume that anything negative. We should just, why not think the most positive thing that could be happening. So anyway, 9 demos a day, that's what we need. So here we go. What's next? Well, we're in a Super Bowl contest. If you don't know how this works, I'll give you a quick explanation. There is an Easter egg on the customer website that you click, and it opens this up for the customer. But here's the way it works. At the beginning of the demo, you tell the customer, hey, we've got this really cool Super Bowl contest. If you place an order for something, if you happen to see something that you like and you get it, and you're going to get a guess at the Super Bowl score. And if you get the Super Bowl score right, whatever you bought, you're going to get 100% refund minus the tax. Okay. Basically, your order is for free. That is pretty freaking sweet contest. Up to $1,501, which is our best sale package for Super Bowl. So, and by the way, if you have a customer that wins, you win $200 Cutco gift card of your choice, whatever you want in Cutco. You get, you can order it, or you can apply $200 toward a small set or something for your house. So this is a pretty cool contest. And when your customers win, you win, and it makes watching the Super Bowl a lot of fun if you've got several of these scores that you're trying to see if it happens. So pretty exciting. Take advantage of the Super Bowl contest. Oftentimes we have some reps that really get into this have had their best weeks of their entire career, because they're so excited about calling everybody who said they're going to buy later and say, hey, this is a good time to buy now, is because of the Super Bowl and because you got this contest and we have some sale prices. And anyway, if you don't know about it, ask your manager. They can open it up right there on the customer site and show you everything in the details in writing. Phone jams, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. We have the best phone culture in the United States, in Vector North America, and Vector world, Vector universe. We have the best phone jam culture, and it's because of Marianne and Edson and Dane Omar and Josh and our whole phone jam special ops crew. And I left out probably 5 names of people I should have mentioned just now. Take advantage of these phone jams. People work really hard to put together a cool culture and a cool environment that you can be encouraged to make phone jams. Take advantage of these things at least twice a week. If you're going to be a Cutco rep, twice a week, you need to be on a phone jam if you're going to do anything with this job. So make sure that happens. Leadership Academy is this Saturday. If you are over $4,000 in CPO and you're finished with your fast start and you are interested in just learning things, leadership things, we're going to talk a lot about improving your presence on video, on Zoom calls for this job and for any time. We talk about a lot of really important things during Leadership Academy. Sometimes we talk about selling Cutco. And we talk about some of the lessons that we learned and how it affects our selling of Cutco, but it's really a leadership program. And it's one of my favorite things about being a division manager is being able to put together a great curriculum for these leadership academies. So it's 10 a.m. to 1:30. See if you're talk to your manager about getting an invitation to that. And then 3 weeks of closing. On Monday nights, I've decided for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to teach high-level closing training. The first week is going to be, we're going to hear from Seth Kinzer. He sold more ultimate sets than anybody in the company last year. And he is going to talk about, how to build the customer's thinking to why they need a great big set. Okay. And cookware and flatware and all kinds of things that they could add in. He sold 3 Cutco kitchens last year, which means a set of cookware, a set of flatware, a set of knives and gadgets. Okay, the CPO is in the $3,000 to $7,000 range, depending on what sets they get within there, and pretty great. Okay, to sell even one of those ever, and he sold 3 last year. Anyway, going to train on that. The next week we're going to hear from Brandon Brown. Brandon's going to be talking about dropping down, and these 2 talks happen at a national conference, one right after another, and they flow perfectly together. I just don't want to spend hours and hours on a Monday night. So that is going to be 2 weeks from this Monday. And then the following Monday, people have been clamoring for something called the Closing Bible. So I heard Kuval Patel in West LA and a few other people saying, hey, you haven't taught the Closing Bible in a while. You need to teach the Closing Bible. So that's going to be in 3 weeks. I highly encourage you to make all 3 of these. They're going to build upon each other. And 3 weeks from now, you'll see your average order size way up. You'll see your closing percentage way up. And you'll see yourself making just a lot more money in a lot less time, working smarter, not necessarily harder, and increasing your income, increasing your experience. Okay, promotions night, Wednesday. We have this very special night on Wednesday, and it's only everybody's invited. Okay, we don't want to exclude anybody from this, but we have a lot of people who've been working hard to earn promotions to branch managers and district managers. And we used to have a live conference where parents and family members all came to see this big promotion ceremony, and it's pretty cool. But obviously we're not doing that now. So we put together a fun way to do this on a Zoom conference. It's only a couple hours on a Wednesday night, 7 to 9. I highly encourage you to pop in. If you're getting promoted, of course, please be there because we're going to talk about you, and make sure that you invite all parents, all aunts and uncles. I mean, it's like a high school graduation or a college graduation. Who would you invite to that? Invite them to promotions night if you're one of the people being promoted to either branch manager, district manager, or assistant division manager, or whatever else. So looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Right, to wrap things up, let's hashtag. Here's some of our hashtags. TMSL, you know what that stands for, the Mighty Southland. Notice there's no D. We don't even have to say division after it, okay? Partly because we're going to be putting managers in all different parts of the western half of the country. And so the Mighty Southland is expanding, right? So it's not just within the division lines. Southland is going to count for our Silver Cup, even people that are outside the division lines. So TMSL. Choosing growth, that's what we want to do. Usually if you're faced with a decision, the harder of the 2 decisions is the one that we should usually choose, because that's usually the path of the greatest growth. Always be working on that. And we always be leading, right? Every day we got to be thinking about we're leading somebody. Somebody's looking at us, somebody's watching, somebody can be inspired by what we do on a daily basis every single day. SL, domination. That's just what we want to establish week after week. Southland Silver, we did it, right? We did it. You see right there, you see that right there? Can you see behind me? Okay, there's one of our Silver Cups. We want to do it again. Run it back times 2, right? We've got 2 categories we're competing for Silver Cups as a team this year, and we got a good shot at both of them. And then the final hashtag is just simply the word today. I just love the sentiment of this word, right? It's so easy to think about, well, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll put that off. It's basically a get it done now mentality, right? Action TNT, TNT meaning today, not tomorrow. Just a really great mantra to live by. In the mornings when I do some journaling, I don't journal every single day, but when I do, the first thing I write is just the word today, period. Not exclamation point, not question mark, not even colon. It's just a statement, today. And it just is me telling myself, telling my brain that, hey, today I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to make the most of this day. And I encourage you to do the same. Hey, thanks for listening. Let's have a great first week of February. See ya. I can't even, how do I turn it off?